Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
As unbelievable as it sounds, this is another Arsenal podcast. That is the Away Gooners podcast. We bring news and reaction from Arsenal fans from all over the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Away Gooners podcast. We have got the gang back. Hi, Arun. Hi, Bob. Hi, Deepak.
No,
Hey guys.
So, as a continuation of the last episode that we did with the transfers, where we talked about goalkeepers, centre backs, full backs. So I thought like we would go ahead with the rest of the positions. Central midfielder. Ooh, that's the big one. And wingers and where I see we all know whom we want out, so let me put that name right out right now. But and then forwards, we'll also talk about who's going to stay, who's going to go out, and who we could expect to come in if anybody. So let's jump right in. Central midfielder position, guys. That has been our biggest problem in the last couple of seasons, at least, where we have always.
Are we including defensive midfielder in here? Is it like both the center midfield positions?
The central midfield. We don't know what is going to be the formation with Arteta.
Let's go with 4-2-3-1. Let's go with 4-2-3-1
Even if it's
guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you all, but I just see a big hole there. I'm trying to find the central midfielders that you're talking about. I can't seem to.
That's what we are going to. We are going to fill the hole up in this episode. We are going to give directions.
I thought that's what we tried to fill last time around. No?
We have been filling that hole for quite some time. The problem is that hole never seems to be.
Yes.
Since that would be too much. I mean, since Cazorla and Ramsey, probably that is.
Since those left, we have been shit in midfield.
So
Cazorla probably our biggest loss.
Cazorla, Ramsey. I think since they left, we've been signing midfielder after midfielder, and we have been doing whatever the thing we have been doing. But so let's start with who we have right now, right? Like we have for sure Partey. We have for sure El Neni.
Mohamed El Neni.
the Egyptian pillow. And we have Willock, who is coming back after the loan. We have, I don't know if we should name ESR as a midfielder or as a winger, but I am going to name him as a midfielder because why not? Who else do we have? Ceballos was on loan, so he's out.
Thank God.
Thank God. Odegaard was loan, he's out. Oh, we do have Torreira and the much maligned. No, AMN. I'm not adding him as a. No, whatever he says, no, no. And the Genduzi guy, we do have him, right? Yeah.
Oh no, but he's on loan now. That's been completed, right? So
yes. So let's talk about the people that we have, right? I mean, Willock. Let's start with Willock. Willock had a very impressive loan at Newcastle. So would you? Because we would need backup, and he would be one of the good backups that we could have. If, for example, for me, yes, if we found a player like that in some other team, if he was not playing for Arsenal and he did this with some other team, and we had an option that, you could have him for like $1 million or $2 million, we would jump at that opportunity, right? So why not? Deepak?
Yeah, he would be like a good backup. That is the thing. Backup, that's it. He shouldn't be starting for Arsenal because the level which we want to achieve, I don't think so. He might improve, but he has shown that he can do stuff in Newcastle. But it is Newcastle, and they just sit back and and they want to just score goals out of some situations, which we don't want to do, which we are trying to do against big teams, but against the teams which sit back against us, he would be like a good option to come out of bench, but I don't think so he should be a starter. So we should hold on to him definitely, not like send him back on a loan, because we don't have the enough numbers in midfield right now, because we sent back Ceballos, we don't have Shaka is leaving.
Oh, I missed Shaka on the list.
So we have like just like what?
All right. So yeah. It's especially
so
after
we
the
have
Euros.
only what three or maximum 4 midfielders. Yeah, so definitely we should hold on to Willock and give him game time in Premier League as well, and like the cup games. Why not?
So
what if it turns out to be really really good? You would be happy saying like we have a great academy prospect.
But Bob, the downside of that is if we are not able to give the consistent game time for Willock, would that impede his development?
I would have a slightly different take on Willock. I would say cash it on. That's what I feel. The reason as to why he is not being used, despite of, lack of proper midfielders, was still the fact that he was still not good enough to be represented, above El Nenes or Xhakas and anyone that we had. So now that he is actually scored some decent goals for Newcastle, he is actually a good player for such a team, and just like similar to what John Joe Shelby, or how Isaac Hayden, he used to play for us before, and then he's now playing for Newcastle. So he can be decent enough in a team like Newcastle, but not really at the level of what Arsenal should be expecting.
Okay, so Arun, you are going to be the deciding vote there.
Yeah, I'm just going to use your analogy because of the thing that you said. Like, if there was a similar player available for 2 million, then we should be obviously going for him over Willock, right? So I would definitely go with the same thing. If there's a guy going for 2 million and we can get 20 million for Willock, I might want to make mine the 18 million off that. So definitely, yes. For me, Willock, this is the right time to cash in on him. We are not going to be getting anything more than this. And even if he does do well in the future, good for him. The thing is that he is definitely not going to suit a team like Arsenal. That's where I feel, unless he bulks up or does something amazing with his game, I do not think that that's the level we should be aspiring to. Moreover, given that we're not going to be participating in Europe and we only have 3 competitions to play for, we cannot be overloading the midfield, right? As much as the injury history that we have, we could possibly have a maximum of 5 to 6 people, and that includes the 2 number 10. So given that situation, I think, if we're going for Lokonga, then there's a possibility that he's leaving. And in my opinion, like I said, I'll go with Bob on this one, cash in on it.
I'm pretty sure, Arun, we both will be crying next year, same time, just like how we are crying for Emi Martinez.
I am not crying. No, I'm not like, honestly, there's no point. Like I said, if Willock does well, good for him. Good for him.
No, of course. Yeah, that's the same feelings that I do have. Yeah.
Okay, so Guendouzi is done, and Torreira would probably be gone, right? Like Torreira, I don't think he has any future with Arsenal. Especially, it's a bit sad for me because especially when he came in, I was really excited to have a player like that, snappy midfielder. But for some reason, he doesn't seem to fit with Arsenal. I don't know if he's going to fit with anyone, whether we are going to get the money for him or whatever, because I think we spent close to 25 million or 20 million on him. And I don't think we are going to recoup that money. But yeah, that's what it is. And El Nene would be a perfect squad player. Right? We wouldn't want anyone else. So the next big question is, Bob, Xhaka, is he going out?
I'm pretty sure he is actually agreed first.
If I can add one more thing to it, given the season that he had and given the lack of leaders, could we afford to lose him?
Yeah.
Okay. Could we afford to lose him? Probably more than any other time. We need him most at this point in time. But his heart has set on Roma. He's agreed personal terms as well. And Roma are being very cool. He's agreed personal terms. He just wants to go to Rome. There is no, even if there are interest from other clubs, he's not even going to think about that because he's just quite happy with their proposals. And he's very keen to work under Jose Mourinho. So, which means that the ball is in Roma's court and they're just waiting for us to sign a midfielder before we can formally release him to sign in for Roma. So he looks certainly out.
Okay. Deepak is a fan of the captain, leader, legend, Xhaka. So Deepak, he is. So
Yeah,
I'll
of
ask
course,
you. Yeah, same question. Go ahead.
Yeah, we cannot afford to lose him at this stage. Given I don't know if we find a better replacement, well and good, but I don't think so. We would find right now for the money. So probably it is a loss for us. And for the money which we are trying to sell him, given he doesn't have that much on the contract, so it is a loss for us, I would say.
But again, that's the concern for me, Deepak, right? Like especially after the Euros, now his stock is at the highest, right? Like after the Euros, that game, now his stock is at the highest. We should be able to make more money out of him. Like not exactly the 35 million that we put in for him, but somewhere close to at least 25 or 30 million we should be able to recoup.
See, that's the thing, right? With the players that we are selling, they will have their heart and things set on one team. So the team will have all the bargaining chips with them. So even the case with Fabregas as well. Fabregas, at the time that we sold him to Barcelona, almost every team in the world.
They kidnap Fabregas from us. We follow them like a puppy. Yeah, go on.
So Barcelona played firm that they said they were going to only pay 35 million back at the time, which was ridiculously less than his value. And we just let him go because, there was no choice. And he was just set on one team that he was going to join. And so it's going to be the case with Roma as well. Even if he has played well for Euros and all those sort of things, there is a sentiment that Roma knew that Arsenal, he is actually a divisive figure as Arsenal. He's got his ups, very huge ups, and then, very deep lows as well. So which means that they know that, they've got the chips and he wants to join the team more than anything. So they're just using it at.
And again, Italian clubs never pay that much. So yeah, Deepak, go ahead.
Yeah, they want 15 million, 20 million. That's the max we might get out of this deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, given the situations he had at Arsenal, I don't think so. People would be willing to pay 30, 35 million. We have projected him as the most useless guy in the team for the past 3-4 seasons, and then we are expecting 35 million from him. I don't think so. That's going to happen.
But that's the thing, right? Like Arun, for me, the projection of Xhaka being useless is from fans' perspective. From on pitch, he has been he has been consistently picked by any manager who has come in. He has played most games in his time at Arsenal, right? For me personally, I would be okay to let him go. I am not so much into he's our best midfielder. Probably he is our best midfielder. But where has his best midfielding thing has brought us, right? Finished 8th, 10th, finished 5th, 6th. We have not finished in a position to show that his best is what we need. So I'm okay with that. But my question is that he has been given the opportunity on the pitch. Fans have been saying all shit about him, but that shouldn't cause other clubs to undervalue him.
Yeah, the thing is Xhaka is constantly rated highly. We as fans can slate him all we want, but there is something that he brings onto the pitch that we as fans are not able to see. How much ever we slate him, that's something that we are not able to see. Otherwise, he wouldn't be such a popular figure with the rest of the team. Managers, like you said, wouldn't be keeping him in the team all the time. So to answer your question about whether the fans thing is going to influence other clubs who want to buy him, definitely not. Because whatever they see, whatever Arsenal team management is saying is probably the same thing that they are going to see when they're looking for the specific qualities that Xhaka brings in when he's playing on the pitch, off the ball, on the ball, whatever it might be. But the thing, though, is that, like you mentioned, Xhaka brings in something, but that something has not been good enough for us since the time he arrived at the club. We've been with him. He's, like you said, he's got the chances. He does bring in something great. He's appreciated. But the problem I feel is that what we need as a club, what we need at Arsenal at this point, what we needed at 2016, what we've been needing for the last 5 years has not been fulfilled by Xhaka, you know. So to answer your question about my question about whether we could afford to lose him at this point, the answer would be no, primarily because of the lack of a leader there. Partey is not shown to be a leader yet. KT, for all you know, is young and has got like an amazing injury record where he keeps playing he stops playing once every 6-7 games, right, with his injury record. So we cannot afford to have him as a captain. Abba hasn't done anything as a captain. So if we manage to get someone who's equally good in terms of being commanding on the pitch, and someone who can get the respect of the rest of the team, that's the most important thing, because it's easy to be a captain. It's difficult to get the respect of the team. That's the kind of player that we should be going for. And if we manage to get someone, then we wouldn't be feeling Xhaka's loss. But Xhaka is going to be some sort of a loss here.
Okay, so that brings to the question, Bob, right? Like, if we are losing Xhaka, and so what are the names? Arun already mentioned Lokonga. What are the names that you would throw in to that position?
So Lokonga is being looked at more as a prospect rather than a ready-made starter.
Plus, more like, I think it's more like, sorry to cut you off, I think it's more like Partey's backup at this point.
Yeah, true. I think it's Arteta's relationship with company which has actually turned Lokonga into our favor. He has actually rejected a couple of Italian clubs as well. I don't know how far it is true or if it's agent made up stuff or anything, but at least the influence of Arteta, is there in pulling him to Arsenal for once. So with Xhaka moving out, there's been some names floating around. There's not been any concrete links so far, but the names which has been currently floated around are Ruben Neves of Wolves. So if you compare the profiles between Xhaka and Neves, they are like to like, which means that we are going to be potentially getting another Xhaka, if not more. So the other name linked is Sassuolo's midfielder Manuel Locatelli.
But it seems like he's not interested, right? It seems like he's more interested in going to UA.
Correct. Despite, it's unlike English teams, Italian teams more look to sell their players amongst the big clubs in Italy. That's because they would expect return favors. So in the case of Sassuolo, they've got 3 players from Juventus on loan, in the past few years. So which means that if they want to remain in Juventus good books or any other big teams good books, they would prefer to sell their players to their direct rivals than to actually sell him to any foreign clubs.
It sounds like a Godfather thing than football transfers, like make him an offer that he cannot refuse or whatever.
They're very sentimental about their things. So their CEO Carnevali is been clearly waiting for talks with Juventus. Allegri lets him very high and then would want to probably sign him. But I think with the financial woes which Juventus are under, if in case they don't opt to sign him, for now there's not been any other clubs interested in him apart from us. But that could actually soon become a bidding war now that they know like he could be made available if Juventus choose to not sign him. That's a big if there, because if at all they think he is good, then obviously they would just create a space for him and then just push out the other players that they have signed in the past. So yeah, that's the situation with Sassuolo at the moment. And apart from that, I don't think there's been any central defenders linked. there's been an interesting Instagram chat between the former players, Lille players, Gabriel and Renato Sanchez.
Yeah, I saw that.
Renato has played with Swansea in the past, if you could actually remember, but he's not been very successful there. He is another central midfielder who could actually play well. I was thinking maybe he was still 18 or 19, but unfortunately not. He is 23. So he is one of the names being floated around. I mean, it's just more from the Instagram chat that we are just creating all these link ups and all those sort of things. So I don't know how far it is true there. So these are the names being floated around, at least for the central midfield position for now.
Interesting. Deepak, do you have any names? You usually come up with some, pipe dream names and some other names. So let's hear.
But like it is like baffling to see that we are not linked to any central midfielders, given that we don't have the numbers and we are going to lose Xhaka. And it is, I don't know, like what is the plan for them to start with? What, Elneny and Partey? I have no idea. This is the position which we really need right now. So I don't know, like locally, like from the first, I had believed that it would be like a pipe dream. It is never going to happen, and it will never happen. Because like Italians don't like to move to England. They want to stay within their country, and they don't like the climate in England. Plus, I don't think so. He would come to Arsenal when Juventus is interested. So I don't know. I don't know, like anyways, we could probably like beg with Manchester United to give Donny van de Beek. He has been rotten.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I'm sorry, one of the names that I failed to mention, it could be a wild card one. Given again another big club's financial woes, Barcelona's financial woes, they're desperately.
Please don't say Pjanic. Please don't say Pjanic.
Obviously, that's the only name left on the plate. So he's 31, by the way. His first preference again is to come back to Juventus, but Juventus have categorically refused that he's been required back in the team, so which means that he's sort of available for other clubs to look at. And given that Paterazzi has now joined Spurs as their sporting director, our chances are going to be even slimmer because he's got excellent relationship working with all the Juventus players in the past. So which means that he has got the pull factor to pull him to Tottenham than us. And they've got the coveted Europa Conference League to play for. So there you go.
Yeah, no, I don't want.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Deepak.
Like probably we could sign Rodrigo De Paul from Udinese.
No, I think he's moving.
Yeah, he's moving to Atletico Madrid,
yeah.
so that is not happening. Who else is there? There is this guy from Borussia Mönchengladbach, the
Again.
Yeah, why not? Like, it might turn out to be like Xhaka. And as I said, we could try to sign like Donny van de Beek from United, but I don't think so.
I would be happy to get Van de Beek, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is no way.
I probably think we would mostly end up with Neves, which is like just similar to Xhaka. I don't think so. He's an improvement on Xhaka. So that is.
Neves is not going to come cheap. He's going to be costing 45 million.
Yeah, that's the case. So I don't think so. I don't know why we don't look at like what pros or something. Like he also would be expensive, but still like he has been like proving for 2-3 seasons with Southampton. So I don't think so. Why don't we try him and sign?
How about guys like Bissouma?
Yeah, Bissouma, like
Bissouma is again another name. Yes.
Yes, and he won't come cheap as well. So everything is like everyone knows we need a midfielder, and everyone would like try to like get money out of us, even though it might turn out to be like a average player.
With Bissouma, it's good that you mentioned that, Arun. I almost forgot his name. He shares the same agent as Pepe, and they've got like excellent relations working with the Arsenal board. So there's as well a lot of possibilities that it could potentially happen as well if they want to sign him, because Bissouma is being more inclined to sign for us. But I think it's more choice in terms of who Arteta wants or what are his top priorities and where Bissouma fits in.
Arun, how about picking someone from Barcelona for a short term like Busquets?
No
Busquets.
Why would they leave Busquets out?
Because they have to sell some players, or Arthur or whatever, right? Like they have some players whom we can pick.
Arthur is in Juventus, right?
Yeah, Arthur is in Juventus. That's why they got Pjanic, and that's why I don't want Pjanic.
Okay.
They won't sell Busquets for sure. They want him to be like a mentor to Pedri and the youngsters. For sure, they won't sell Busquets.
He'll die at Barcelona.
No. So there's been talks for him to go to MLS, which is likely going to happen next year. But yeah, for now, Busquets is more likely going to stay at Barcelona this term.
There was this guy who we were linked to from Roma, Pellegrini. I don't think so that will happen after Mourinho became their coach. Mourinho for sure won't give their best player. Yeah. For me, like if we have to sign someone like really good, I would go for like the Leipzig guy, Sabitzer. He would like solve a lot of problems for us. He's a player who goes forward and picks passes at will and stuff. So that would be like a pipe dream signing. Or even his teammate like Konrad Leimer, he's also really good. So any one of those two would be like a good signing for us. As I said, probably would end up with Neves for 50 million, which is like, yeah.
that seems to.
Sabitzer would not cost a lot either. He'll be available for 15 to 20 million. And
no way they will sell him for 15 to 20. He's 27 years old and he has like 2-3 years in contract. They would ask minimum like 50.
50?
Yeah. Sure.
Any player we try to sign would cost 50, 40 and 35. And any player that we try to sell would cost like, 15 million, 10 million, 12 million, 5 million. Yeah.
3 to 5 million plus a bag of rice.
Yeah.
Because he has been the best player, like out of, if you leave out the Bayern midfielders, he has been the best midfielder in Bundesliga. So he would cost a lot.
Hey, buddy, when the time that we signed Xhaka, he was actually rated more than Gundogan, who actually got signed by Manchester City at the same season. Look how Gundogan has actually turned out to be and how Xhaka is actually turning out.
But so, that is Manchester City, and that is why we are Arsenal.
Yes, correct. So at that point in time, he was actually in the team of the year, Bundesliga team of the year, Xhaka. And he was as well the captain of Borussia Mönchengladbach. So yeah, history and the current reality are much different.
Something is wrong with us or the coaching team or anyone.
I don't know. Yeah.
Every player who comes to us seems to regress. Partey was a world beater. Suddenly he became like so shit.
Another player, actually talking about Partey and Atletico Madrid, so Atletico Madrid are as well, since now they're almost on the verge of signing Rodrigo de Paul, they're likely going to sell Sal Niguez. A couple of seasons before, he was almost one of those untouchable players at Atletico, and he was actually rated very heavily. Now he's actually fallen so much behind the pecking order that they are willing to listen for offers. He's likely going to cost around 35 million. I don't know. I mean, he's regressed pretty much over the last year or so. Given how the performance have been going, it's already on a downward spiral at the moment. And I'm not sure if in case we would need to sign him, but he could as well be thought of one of the options. And given more, there's been an interest from Bayern for Saul, and he has rejected them because his heart is set to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, let him play somewhere else if he has regressed that much. We don't want another regress player.
He would end up in Liverpool because he's been looked at as the replacement for Willian.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Arun, do you have any names that you want to throw into the mix?
Uh, I hope we do not end up with like someone like Ruben Neves. Locatelli would be a good option. We're not going for him. I think we'll end up with budget option Sander Bridge. I think we'll be paying like 15 million for him. He fits in our budget. We'll end up.
That's right. If we are trying to sign like some 15-20 million player, we could sign that Fulham guy, that Angisa or someone. He had like great stats.
Arsenal would never sign a good option or the option that you want. They sign the option that they. It's going to be a bad option. It's going to be Sandoval.
I believe he had almost similar stats as Bissouma, like, and yeah, so whatever, like, but I don't think so. I want to see who we end up with.
Jump to the end of
pipe dream would be Locatelli, but reality more likely I'm guessing we would go for Bissouma, given the context that we have with the player.
If we get Bissouma, I would be happy actually.
Bissouma not a bad option. He's a really good one.
He's really a good one, but he won't be available during AFCON. Neither would be we won't have parties.
I don't even know who will play in midfield.
But then again, right? Like the question is that we need more than one player in that midfield, right? We should be signing at least two players, and that if that is the context, and we sign both Bissouma and Ruben Neves, why not? But if I don't think that is going to be possible,
and then it's time for you to wake up, buddy.
It will be either Bissouma, Neves, and someone like Sanderberg. Like that would be the thing.
Yeah, probably that seems to be the way we are going with the central midfield. So to continue on the midfielders positions, right? Like the other position that we are very, very, very light on is the attacking midfielder position. Like if we consider 4-2-3-1, of course, right? We have only ESR in it. Apart from that, we don't have anyone else. Odegaard's out, so.
William.
That's a very good job.
So what are our options? We have been there. I am hearing talks about Madison, but I don't think we could do that. But anyway, so I'll start with Bob. Bob, do you think we need an attacking midfielder, or do you think
actually, given the advances which Aston Villa are doing for ESR, I'm not really sure what's our position on that, because if the player is verbally agreed to sign a contract, just that the paperwork has not been signed yet, nobody would really make approaches to a club like the way Aston Villa are doing at the moment. So they've got 2 bids rejected already, 25 and 30 million, and there's been talks about them launching a 3rd bid for 35 million plus add-ons or so. I don't really know what's really happening at the back. I mean, a similar situation happened with a lot of players in our past, and most notably that I could remember with Samir Nasri, that there's been mentions that he's going to sign a contract imminently, and then that never happened, and then finally we had to be forceful in selling him to City. So with ESR, it's not been locked on stone or set on stone yet, because until it's been signed, we don't know what's really happening with the players' camp and the assurances which Aston Villa are getting at their end. With him out of the way, with regards to the players that we've been linked so far, there's obviously been a lot of PR going on with Madison, but he's going to be costing an insane lot of money. And given that we're going to be almost overall in the squad and not going to be generating much from our transfers as well, outs, I meant, I don't really think it's going to happen. I mean, if at all Kroenke's coming to throw in their money, which is absolutely not going to we're not going to really I don't think there's going to be much possibility that we can start thinking about Madison. There's been a lot of interest, obviously, genuine sources have reported that we've we are interested in him. And since he's been a good player, and obviously we'd be interested in him. But more likely, what I think that we would end up having is Hosem Awar from Lyon. We desperately went for him last time around, and given a choice between Arte and Awar, we know who
he was Deepak's choice too. Deepak was one of those few people who was not happy with us signing Partey. He was expecting
Awar to come in.
Yeah, but like that likely could happen. And what I read through in some of these media reports is the fact that we launched 20 million euro cheeky bid to Lyon. Obviously, I think that goes on from Wenger days, that we launch too much under just to frustrate them more, and then they'll break up the asking price by at least 5 million for us, teasing them with such small offers. So I think at some point we would come to a conclusion. Now he's resigned to the fact that Real Madrid or Barcelona are not definitely going to come and sign him. And all the other top clubs in England have got decent midfielders that they don't really want him. So Arsenal is the only choice left for him, and good for us as well. I mean, we need such a player anyway. At least bodies to be thrown in, decent bodies, I would say. He's not a bad option again. I mean, he's good. He is not, if you compare to the levels in terms of what he performed for the 2019-20 season, that's not been exactly replicated in his 2020 and 21 season. So, I mean, in just the season which has concluded. So, which is as well, reflective in the price which Lyon has lowered from, because they were adamant for a 60 million euro price tag last year around, last transfer window, but now his price tag has almost come to 25 to 30. So I think there is a realistic possibility that we could get him this year, and that's pretty much what I could think of in terms of the name who's been linked. Odegaard has already quashed all the rumors about coming back. He's obviously not going to come back, and then Ceballos, I don't think any of us would want him. So
Arun would want Ceballos back.
Especially now that we are going to be doing an all or nothing, he's like the perfect candidate. Him, Xhaka are perfect candidates to make us
all or nothing.
So, yeah. Go ahead, Arun. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing. So for me, I think there is a possibility of a big signing, primarily because we're doing this all or nothing thing, and I know as much as we would be ending up.
I mean, how many big signings are we talking about, right? Like Ben White is going to be a big signing. If we sign anyone in midfield, that is going to be, center midfield, that's going to be a big signing.
No, if you really think about it, a Ben White for 50 million should not come as a surprise for anyone anymore. He's 23 years old. He's English. He's got some sort of reputation. So given the fact that he's English, his price is definitely going to be inflated. So an English player costing 50, a good English prospect costing 50 shouldn't come as a surprise to us anymore. That's how the transfer market has changed, and that's how things are happening now. So for me, Ben White is not a big signing. Ben White is a signing. By big signing, I mean someone who is like a marquee signing, who could be like an attacking midfielder or a defending or a midfielder there. That's where I see like we could possibly be getting someone, again, like I said, just to save face with all or nothing.
Grealish.
Yeah, that's like the pipest of pipe dreams, but that pipe is not going to even get built. So no, that's not happening. No, Grealish. I'll go with Bob on this one, though. I'm expecting a big signing. I think we'll just end up with someone like Hosamawa. We were behind him a lot. Madison is not going to happen. I don't see why Leicester would want to sell him to us for 50 to 60 when they know that if he has another good season, they can get more for him. So Madison, no. I'm assuming we will end up with Hosamawa. Again, that would not come easy. They quote 25, will start at 20, and we keep proceeding at 5 and 500,000 increments till we get it. So yeah,
by the time they would get pissed off, and they wouldn't really want to sell him at all.
No, at that last instant, we'll do something that would make them desperate and make them sell him to us, and there'll be posts for floating around saying Wenger masterminded all of this through something that was 10 years ago. So I'm expecting all of those things to happen since it's Neo and since it's Hawa. But I'm just looking at the other options that I have. Apart from Hawa, I have Sabitzer, who could of course play anywhere. But then we have Willock, whom we decided is good to cash in on. Madison is not happening. Pjanic, no. And the other option is Willian. So I think out of all this, the only decent option seems to be Hawa.
Willian.
So I think, I think we'll probably be ending up, if we do go for someone, I think we'll be probably be ending up with a 25 million Hawa. I don't think he's been as bad last season as people made him out to be. In fact, he scored like 3 more goals than what he did. It's probably that his involvement was not the same and he had the discipline issues as well. Maybe a change in environment could help him as well. So I'm with Bob on this one. I think we'd probably be going with our just at least to save face for the all or nothing thingy.
But
there is one more name who could be available. That would be definitely an outer from Barcelona. That's Coutinho. Felipe,
No.
I mean, he could be available at a really less price. I don't know if we really want him or not. I mean, I'm just purely floating this idea because Kia Jarbucha, his agent, is an Arsenal fan and he's got a lot of links.
Wait, Kia Jarbucha is an Arsenal fan? I didn't know. I thought he was a fan of money. I didn't know he was a fan of football clubs.
He's obviously a fan of money, but yeah, he's an Arsenal fan, and that was how we got Villian.
Then he's definitely not an Arsenal fan. Bob, you're giving me more and more reasons why he's not an Arsenal fan. You're not helping your cause.
but I don't want to continue. I don't think. I know he will be available, but he's going to cost a lot more in wages, and he is. I have not been a fan of Coutinho even at his best. So I don't know. I don't feel very comfortable with having him in my team. Of course, if he signs, we will support him, but it's better not to sign than to be forced to support him.
Until last year you have Ceballos. Okay, now replace him with Coutinho. Would you take him or not?
Why those are the only 2 options I have? Why can't I have a better option?
Because you support Arsenal, dude. You don't have an option there. So.
if you were City fan, you would be having Bernardo Silva going out of the club and you wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah,
that's how they would be. But yeah,
that is the question I have for Deepak. Deepak, so Bernardo Silva is going out. Should we try and sign him for Arsenal?
If he's available, close your eyes and sign him. But the thing is, he won't come. Why the hell he would even come to Arsenal? He has been winning Premier League left, right, and center, and he has been their main player. So I don't think so. Bernardo Silva and all is not happening. Yeah, as these 2 guys mentioned, probably will end up with our finally.
but any other names that you want in, I mean, even if it's even if it's something that is not going to happen or it is something outside of the comfort zone.
That guy from Sporting Lisbon who replaced Bruno Fernandes, he has been really good. That Pedro Gonzalez. What if we sign him and he becomes our Bruno?
But why would he move right now, right? Because he knows that if he waits and he performs a little bit more, people are going to say the same thing about him in a season or 2, that he might be the next Bruno, let's sign him, right? And bigger clubs could come to him. Why would he come to Arsenal?
I don't think so. Any bigger clubs needs an attacking midfielder now, in Premier League. Pretty much everyone are set with their own. If you look at Chelsea, they have Mount, Havertz. If you look United, they have Bruno. So why not? Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't going to spend. So just buy him for this season, let him perform here and sell him in 3 or 4 seasons for better money. He's just 23 or 22.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Arsenal are not a bigger club anymore. It can be treated as a stepping stone for another bigger club.
You never know, all or nothing, and then we are going to show who we are.
It's
in that
nothing
document.
Only. There is no all.
So anyways,
I hope they don't make it as cringy as the Tottenham one was. Honestly, that's my only hope. I do not want to hear Alba saying, "Come on, boys, come on, lads, we got this one."
These Abba and Laka would be like simply posing in front of the camera and doing nonsense.
They're probably dancing. I think we'll make it fun. We'll make it like it'll be like watching a Marvel movie, all colorful.
Anyway, so now that we are done with the,
biggest thing for me is like we need to like tie down ESR. That's it. Nothing else. Then we can deal with signing others.
Yeah.
True.
If we lose him, that would be like the stupidest mistake which Arteta and Edu has done.
Yeah.
Not happened yet, so let's
let's be hopeful. I too think that ESR is very highly rated, and with the way he has been treated, and I think he's happy here. I think he would be signing his contract soon. If not, it's already done or whatever. So I think it's not. It is going. It's just a matter of when, not if. So moving on to the next position, though, let's talk about the wingers. We already have Pepe. We already have Saka, Martinelli. Who else am I missing? Willian,
Aubameyang.
Willian and Nelson. Aubameyang, let's talk him as a centre forward. At his age, I don't think he is going to do a lot of wing action. So, Willian, Nelson, Martinelli, Saka, and Pepe. Anyone else am I missing? I don't think so, right?
That's it.
So Pepe and Saka would be nailed on starters. At least that's my hope for the season, that they should be nailed on starters. And Martinelli could deputize at the left side of it. And if I don't think we are going to hold on to Nelson, I think we are going to either sell or loan him out. And Willian, I hope that we sell him. So
and sell him to who? No one will buy him.
Willian, right? Yeah, that's a sticky situation.
Stuck with him for 2 years. We are stuck with him for 2 years. Probably use him to run the clock out for the 89th minute to 98th minute. That's it. We can use.
But I think I agree with Deepak. So I mean, despite the fact that we want him out, I don't think he would be in a position to move. His move to the MLS to Inter Miami collapsed because of his wage demands, and he didn't want to lower them, considering the fact that he's got 2 years left on his contract. So that was not actually entertained there. And so far, there's not been any other interest from any clubs at all. So until or unless we chose to bear the wages, just like how we did for Ozil, this is going to be again, it's going to be a long one, I would think.
If that is the case, then do you guys think that we don't need any more wingers in the team?
We can't afford to.
We can't afford. What you want to sign like 180 million attacking midfielder, 50 million midfielder, centre back. No way we are signing with that.
But
so I hope like Nelson and Martinelli get more chances. But if Nelson is leaving, we can't do anything. Just rotate with Martinelli, Pepe, and Saka.
For me, I don't think we are going to be buying anyone in the winger department. It's only one, either Willian or Nelson is going to leave. I don't think we're getting anyone new. Like you said, I think Pepe and Saka would be starters with Martinelli and one of Willian or Nelson as the backup. So I don't see us buying any wingers. Probably one of Willian or Nelson would leave. If both of them leave, then we'd probably be getting someone. But otherwise, I don't see any changes there.
But Bob, do you see anyone from the academy, under 21s, under 23s stepping up in the winger department that would kind of like put in numbers? Like, I mean, if we go in with like say Pepe and Saka as our starters, and then like if we have even one injury, then we are down to bare bones in that department.
Yeah, so Nelson would be the closest that I can think of who can actually provide a sort of a body on that side, on any side that we're going to play. But that again would not be a very stable one. And I don't think it's going to work out as well for us. So So maybe I would think that if at all there is concrete moves for Villayan, then we might as well have to buy one decent enough to replace him. As we all know, Kamavinga is going to be sold. I'm not saying that we are going to buy him. Obviously, this would be the last choice for him to come. But he could be available, or if at all we actually do some tricks to actually cheat him, or try and blindfold him to here,
But
then he
he's
could be
a central
available for
midfielder.
25 million as such, because he is in the last year of his contract.
But he's center midfielder, right? He's not a winger.
He could as well be deployed on the wings. He's got pace that he could be
If
deployed
we-
on the wings.
If we sign our, probably if we don't have bodies, ESR would start in wings.
Yeah, that could potentially as well happen. Like Arun said, probably if someone just decides to come and take Vilay, then probably we might have a chance to sign anyone. But I don't think it's going to move anywhere until that's happening.
So,
but don't worry, we have a scapegoat for our loss, William.
No, just that, like, wing is a position where we make the change, right? Like in a game, that's where we could bring in fresh legs and affect the game in the middle of the game, or like that is our substitution position. And I feel that we are very light there, especially when I see the numbers. I mean, obviously Martinelli coming in at 60th minute or 70th minute would be awesome, but then like that is just one injury away from going into like making El Nini come in and play at wing, or someone like that to happen.
That's it. That much only we can afford right now. We can't do anything else.
Okay, so let's move on to the next position, which is the forward. And surprisingly, we have a lot of forwards in our team right now. We have Aubameyang, and Lacazette is still with us, and we also have, what is his name, Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, Eddie is here, and then we also have this Balogun guy.
Yes.
Right. So we have like 4 forwards. Do you guys and Lacazette is the question mark that I have.
So Lacazette is in this last year of contract at the moment, and there's not been any contract talks going on for both Lacazette and as well as the case with El Neni so far. So if at all something comes up for either of them, things could actually become
El Neni or Eddie?
Nketiah as well, along with El Neni. So all the 3 of them, they've not been really offered new contracts. I think they are planning to offer contracts to Nelson and Nketiah as such, but no talks planned between El Neni and Lacazette. So given that Lacazette is in his last year, if at all they would want to cash it on him, now would be the time. So you could see some movements, either him signing a new contract, or either him moving out somewhere to create space for other person. But for Nketiah, my opinion would be to cash it on him. I think Brighton has showed some interest in him, so maybe just make use of that and then make Balogun do the number spilling part. That's pretty much what I feel.
But they're like, so if we cash on Nketiah, I mean, either I don't know if we could sell him outright, or we would be only having an option of loaning him out. What about then, like, it'll be Auba as the starter, and if Lacazette is moved on, then we would need someone, right, to play. Is it going to be Balogun, or like, are we going to trust Balogun to be our to deputize for Aubameyang, or we are going out to sign someone?
Stick with Lacazette for now, and like we can deal with that later. because we have other important positions to fill up. I don't think so. We need to like concentrate and hopefully our performs like 2 seasons back.
Okay, Arun.
Because if you see, like if you are moving Lacazette, we have to bring in like what 6 or 7 players, which is like a complete overall in the first team, and I don't think so that would work.
Interesting. Arun, do you have any thoughts on the striker position?
In my opinion, I think the ones staying for certain are going to be Alba and Balogun. Alba for the present and Balogun for the future. Eddie, in my opinion, will leave or has to be sold. I mean, I don't see a future for him at the club. I don't think he's. I'd love to be proven wrong, and if that happens, good for Eddie. But I don't think he's a good fit for this league, given his physical limitations. So maybe he would be good for like a team that is fighting relegation, but it's not for someone who's trying to get into the top 4 or win a league. So Eddie, plus he's English, so we can get some money off him. That would be a good sale. The other option is Lacazette. I'm really on the wall with this one because we haven't heard any talks about any new contracts. And whom we thought was going to fetch us like 40 million at the beginning of last season is probably going to get us only 20 million. But 20 million is still 20 million, right? Good money. So I think there is a possibility of him leaving. Not as much as Eddie leaving, but though there is a small possibility. And if he does, I think we'll be getting like a small, like a 20 million backup striker. But apart from that, like I don't see any changes in there.
Okay.
For me, like 20 million is a good money if we invest that 20 million back. If we like simply like throw it away, it's useless selling like
Yeah, we probably be investing on another striker who's like could challenge Balogun for the future.
But this is all in thinking that Aubameyang is going to have a season that is not like the last season, right? Because if he is going to be our first choice and he has a season like last season, then we are in deep trouble, right?
Because true, but like Deepak said, we cannot be like overhauling every position everywhere, right? We are not a club like Chelsea who can bring in 8 people at the same time. Plus, we are not again like a team like Chelsea who don't seem to be bothered about managerial sackings, right? So we need the right player for the manager to work with to be able to show anything. So in that situation, you can either go with like the one that we already have, which is Lacazette, and like lose him for free, or we can try and cash in on him and bring someone for 25 million.
I think more than ever we need to start thinking about Lacazette's situation, and we need to be prepared, and we need to be having names in mind or the transfers lined up, because it could go either way, as like what Arun said, I mean, if the contract talks doesn't progress, there is most likely going to be the case where he will be sold before the close of the window, because rather than him, I mean, going on free or signing a pre-contract agreement in Jan, so more likely that we would start looking around or putting up options, start getting linked to players. Isaac was actually one of those players, the Swedish striker, but apparently he signed a contract extension with Sociedad now that he's out of reach completely. But there could be other names in the mix with other teams, but yeah, none of them have been drawn up in the transfer window so far.
Hopefully Abba gets back to his form. That's all I could say for now, because I mean we do have one of the prolific strikers in the world. So why do we need someone else to come in if he could get back his mojo?
No strikers in the market. Strikers are a premium, right?
There is one more name which I could throw in, which is Griezmann. It's impossible. I know it is something like impossible, next to impossible for us. But yeah, that's it. That's like a outside chance of having a name. But anyways, guys, it's been a nice pod. It's hopefully in the next one we would keep hearing new names, new newses. I think by the time we would have signed either Ben White or something becomes concrete before the next pod, and we have some clarity on who is going out.
You'd be surprised at how Arsenal can surprise in first league.
I feel this transfer window will be like that deadline day signing where we signed 4 or 5
4 or
people.
5 players, yeah. I hope
It'll be
not.
something like that.
We've been trying to sign Ben White like for the last 2 months, and we are still trying to sign him. So
We are still so close. Here we go, right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's been nice to discuss everything. Now that I literally had no idea before this. I had probably heard a couple of names, but now I'm more excited about a lot more players who could come in if that happens, and the team begins to get into some sort of a shape for future. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining in. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank